All right, it's story time. Today, we're going to hear about a very different kind of restaurant. Do you like going to restaurants? Cool. What's your favorite restaurant? Those are good ones. What's your favorite thing to eat there? Oh, I like that too. Okay, well, let's get started with our story. Bill loved going to restaurants. He loved going to restaurants so much, they called him Restaurant Bill. Every time he went to a new town, he tried to go to every restaurant he could find there. One day, Bill went to a new town, and the first thing he did was look for the first restaurant he could find. And sure enough, it wasn't a long search. He found it right away. He walked in the door, and it made a very comforting ding-a-ding-a-ding as the bell rang. The staff sat him down at a very nice table. He thought this was going to be the best restaurant I've ever eaten at. He looked on the counter and saw a nice thing of cupcakes. He thought a cupcake would be a great way to start his lunch. When the waitress came up, he asked for one, and sure enough, she brought it over very quickly. Good food and good service. This is a great restaurant, he thought. He looked at the cupcake. It looked very good. He peeled the wrapper just a little bit and took a big bite. But he was very surprised. This didn't taste like a cupcake at all. Cupcakes are usually very sweet, but this was not sweet. Instead of frosting, there was mashed potatoes on top. And in the center, a big piece of turkey. And the cake wasn't cake at all. It was a dinner roll. After the surprise, he realized it was very good. It wasn't a cupcake like he was used to, but it was tasty all the same. He must have eaten 2 or 3 of the turkey mashed potato cupcakes that aren't really cakes before he decided to move on to the next course. He looked a few tables down and saw someone else drinking a nice, tall glass of orange juice, and he was feeling pretty thirsty. He pointed at the other table and asked for one. The staff brought it right away. He took a big gulp and realized it wasn't orange juice at all. It was a little sweet, but he couldn't figure out what it was. He took another sip. Definitely not orange juice, but it still tasted great. He took a third sip, and then he realized exactly what it was. He was drinking carrot juice. He had always thought he didn't like carrots, but this was quite nice. He drank the whole glass and asked for another. After the next glass, he decided it was time to eat. He looked around the restaurant to see what everyone else was eating, and he saw a nice, juicy hamburger. He quickly ordered one, but started to think. The cupcake was very different to what he was expecting. The orange juice was also very different from what he was expecting. He wondered what the hamburger would be like. After a few moments, the staff brought his plate and set it down in front of him. Sure enough, there was a nice hamburger with a side of French fries. He wondered, what was it going to be like? Maybe it's going to be sweet, he thought, because hamburgers aren't usually sweet. Maybe it's cold, he thought, because hamburgers are usually hot, not cold. Maybe it's not a hamburger at all, he thought. It just looks like a hamburger. It might be ice cream or something like that. He thought a bit more and then decided he should just eat it and find out. He picked up one of the French fries. It feels like a French fry, he thought. Smells like a French fry, he thought. It's a French fry. He realized there was nothing strange about this French fry. It tasted just like every other French fry he had ever eaten. It was good, but he was a little disappointed. He was expecting something crazy. He decided to move on to his hamburger and picked it up. Well, it was warm, so that's normal. It smells really nice. It seemed just like any other hamburger. He thought, well, there's no other way to find out. Let's just take a bite. And he did. And it was a hamburger. Nothing special, nothing crazy, just a really good hamburger. He ate it. He was glad to, but he was still a little disappointed. After he finished eating, he called over the staff. He told them it was such a good hamburger, but he was expecting something a little unique, what with the cupcakes and the orange juice. They smiled and laughed and said, "Oh, you didn't realize the secret with the hamburger, did you?" He was confused. What secret? It was just a regular hamburger. The staff laughed. Well, that hamburger wasn't made with meat. It was 100% tofu. He was shocked. He couldn't believe that he had eaten a tofu burger and liked it. This was a great restaurant. It taught him how to eat a lot of different foods he had never tried before, and he would certainly come back again. In our story, Bill got to try a lot of new foods, and he learned to like them. Is there a kind of food that you tried that was really good and now you like it? Good for you! What kind of food would you like to try next? Sounds good. What about tofu? Have you tried tofu? Cool. It's one of my favorite foods. Well, that's it for our story. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe for more videos.